Reach Solutions has given me information there that our off-site backup billing is going to increase. He explains why in that letter. It's going to increase by $81 a month. So it basically has to do with, we have two servers. I don't know how to explain it other than we have one in our office and one is a virtual server.
Cloud.
And they both have to be backed up. So. Share.
Just going to happen in all departments.
We just redid ours with the last contract, I believe. The courthouse.
Did it go up?
Huh?
Did it go up?
I know, well, not everybody's just backed up. I backed up my desktop and they did a new one and I think it was Eric and Eric and some of his stuff. It actually went down a little bit, so. But that's desktops, that's not servers.
Well, Matt says in there, he initially misquoted it in the first place. It was an oversight on his part because he didn't realize it was.
Two servers, I guess, yeah. So he's given us a bit of a discount
Saw that.
too, by just the $81. It really should be more than that, but.
But the only server that the county offices here use is CIC, and that's at their facilities, so I'm sure they have something with dispatch and stuff, the server there that's probably backed up, I don't know.
So this is just an increase over what you just had. You just need to get the increase approved. And
Right.
You have it. You have the monies
I'm
available.
pretty sure I have it in my budget for right now.
For now.
You know, who knows what I may have to buy coming soon.
Did you
but-
work that?
And who knows whether we're even going to have
Right, I know.
any money.
Yeah, so I think as of today, I have the money to cover that, so.
Okay.
How much?
It's gonna be $190 a month, I believe. You can have this one.
191, was it?
$191. Yeah, so you can have that one. So, and that's just the off-site backup. Our IT contract is still at the $585, I believe, a month, so that hasn't increased yet, but.
Any discussion?
I think we don't have a choice really, right? We have to pay
No,
it.
there's not another option.
Right, yeah.
Do you need a motion for that?
Oh, I don't know if we need a motion to increase that. Yeah.
Well, I'll make the motion to increase it to 191, was it?
Yes.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Same sign.
Okay, thank
Submit.
you.
All right.
And Scott, did you get my 2021 budget? I turned a proposed order in.
Yeah. Sit down a second.
Oh, sure.
Were you wanting that signed today? Or?
No, it's just the proposed one whenever you,
Right.
So we can wait on that?
yep.
And not that we're picking on you, but you're first.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah,
We have not a clue what budgets are going to
I
look
know.
like. So I think after some discussion here earlier, we're kind of encouraging all the department heads to submit a bare bone budget, but also have one prepared with some budget cuts, say somewhere 5 to 10%.
okay,
That at least we'll have something in hand that, honestly, with the shortfalls in the state, and we know there's going to be huge shortfalls coming down to us, it's impossible.
Well, the only reason this got turned in now is some of the other counties, their commissioners want their budgets done in May. And so Judge Barron's has us all do them
Well,
now. And so,
absolutely nothing wrong with that.
yeah, so I can do another revised one, like you said, 5 to 10%.
I think we're going to have to. Are you guys not in agreement with that?
Yeah, I don't know where we're gonna get, I don't know where we'll get the monies.
I know.
You know, we're losing tax too, just like everybody else, so.
So I think all I'm really saying now is we probably need to get our minds prepped a little bit for this is going to be rough.
Well, I'll submit a new one to Judge Barron's because he has to approve it before I submit it to
And
you.
you might have a little bit of an explanation in there.
Sure, I will explain that.
You know, simply based on the fact that we do not have projections, we do not know that we're asking for potential budget cuts.
Sure, I can do that. You think the same, Leslie, on the court-appointed attorney's fees, reduce it by 10% too? It's probably going to go up, but.
Yeah, given the circumstances and all the potential cases that are probably
Well, it's
coming.
difficult for offices like yours because your biggest expenses are just supplies and time and equipment.
Mhm, right.
So it's going to be really hard to decide if and what you need and don't need.
Right.
Be nearly impossible.
Yeah, we try to be really frugal with supplies, you know.
and we don't
And now
doubt
that
that.
we're paperless, helps on paper, but there's certain things, you know.
Well, now you're seeing the
Now your server's good.
yes,
Right.
you're seeing the other side of it. Now we got to keep our computer
Right.
files in order and safe.
Yeah.
So
Lose one and gain another.
yes,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
But anyway, we do understand that, and we're not making demands. We're just at this point in time, might be a good idea.
Okay. I can work on that and get it to Scott for whenever you guys are ready to work on it.
Yeah, we'll probably get kind of geared up next month and
Yep, that's fine.
get going.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you, Natalie.
Yep, thank you guys.
Have a little time here. Depending upon what the governor comes up with tonight, I am probably going to be coming, Trish and I both working starting next week in the courthouse again. It's getting to budget, election stuff. We both need to be here. Unless she comes out with something crazy, I don't know.
What's the talk in the election? I mean, nationwide, you see all kinds of stuff. Are we going to write in? Are we going to?
Well, we're getting ready to send out, we're getting ready to print and send out advanced applications. We're going to try to see if we can get majority of people to vote by mail. You know, send a mail ballot to them and they send it back. There's grant money, it's called HAVA money, that the state has received quite a bit. They're putting together PPE kits for counties. You know, I think they said 1,000 kits, which it sounds like a lot for 105 counties. Well, there's some of those counties that have 25 polling locations, so
Yeah.
it could eat that up quick. I've been picking up stuff here and there. You know, it's not what we need yet, but
Well, Sherman County just went through a special election, and so what they did is at their polling place, they would only let one person in at a time, and then after that person had voted, then they wiped
Clean.
everything down. But that was a small, quote unquote, small election, but that's how they handled it down there, and it seemed to go pretty well.
I mean, it's stuff you don't even think about. Like when we have you sign on the iPad, I'm picking up stylus for each person to get and take home because we
Yeah.
don't want back
Yeah.
to sign.
that.
I mean, it's stuff like that you don't think of that you
Yeah.
need. It's also going to be probably plexiglass across to protect our poll workers. It's going to be a lot of cleanup.
It's not gonna be a problem in Cheyenne County. How are they gonna take care of voting fraud with mail-in ballots?
Well, this isn't really mail. It's advanced voting, which has always been this way.
I know,
Anybody
but-
can do, but
Well, that's what everybody's afraid of. That
That's
there's
what
going to be
I mean, they
abuse
still
and
have to
fraud.
sign it.
I can see this in the cities, but
They have to sign it, the envelope and everything, the registered voter, and then we have to look at that signature in our election and see that they match.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's not foolproof, but, and with the state, we have state statutes that it cannot be a mail ballot election for these. If there's a candidate on a ballot, it cannot be a mail ballot election. But people can apply for an advanced ballot by mail. My hopes is to send that out to every registered voter, and hopefully a lot of people will do it. We can cut down the contact, polling sites.
What was the basis for that special election in Sherman County?
Tax,
Yeah,
or
there's
no, tax lid.
tax lid. Because they're wanting to build an assisted living facility.
So instead of going around the route we took for funding, they just wanted to.
Well, there's some confusion in regards to, because I haven't actually read it, I'm getting this all secondhand, but the last information I got was so that they could raise the tax lid.
For across the board or just for?
Well, that's what they were saying. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to specifically read it myself.
so theirs wasn't for a bond then.
That, I'm just relaying the terminology that was relayed to me. Without having read it, I can't
We voted on
answer
a
that.
bond, didn't we?
In 11.
You did Mills.
Yeah.
But we voted on, what, a $5 million bond?
No, you voted on 6 Mills.
6 mils. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Right on time. I think we're ready.
What?
I think we're ready.
Oh,
If you are,
well, yeah, I thought we were, it was not 9:15, so we were
it's
ready.
pretty close. I mean, so whenever you're ready.
We invited them.
Oh, we invited him. I'm sorry.
Well, what can we talk about this morning?
Well, mainly the food bank. Yeah, we've again run into some difficulties. The biggest one is we, as the county courthouse, need the room. Is there any other location?
We have tried, I have looked and looked and looked since the last time this whole issue came up about you guys needing that room. We need a place that we can store our stuff securely. We need a place that has a backup generator because I don't feel like throwing out thousands of dollars worth of meat if the power goes out for more than 4 hours. It's got to be accessible not only to the clientele, but to truck delivery. Am I going to be able to get the stuff in the building and put it away? I'm not going up and downstairs with it. It's just not going to happen. If there is a place that says, well, you can have our basement, well, there again, I have to go up and down the stairs carrying all this stuff. I can't do it.
Well, we're about in dire straits. We're going to need that space.
And that's fine. What we've decided is if you want to close it, that is totally your decision. We have run this
No, let's not use the
volunteers.
word closed. We're not asking for that.
No, but
Let's
I'm
not
telling
mix
you-
issues here. We're not
Jerry-
asking for you to close.
Okay,
But-
do you guys have any suggestions on where we can go with the food pantry?
I do not.
See,
And this comes up every 2 years, every year. I mean, it's always a point in contention. And the last time we put it in the paper and we asked and we went around and we said, is there not, what about the police department? And there's security issues too. Like, we don't always get the safest of people. And so having it in a highly visible place safeguards, and we have to meet people here to get their things. And so, I mean, we can put it out to the community again, because I think that that's very valid. We don't have to be here. It's been here for 50 years or whatever it's been in this building. But if you need the space, that's fine. But I think Zona and I are to a place where we don't feel like it's very respected in the community, that it's just Candies or it's just Zonas, and it's like, there's so much work that goes to this. And now we're seeing a huge influx of people, and we're working, to bring food to our people, and we're constantly being battled with the COVID stuff, and you're not doing this right, and being treated very disrespectfully. And it's like, fine, we're done. We can walk away from this. You can have the money, the food, the room, and let someone else handle this, because I've been involved with this for 18 years. And there's not gratitude that comes outside of from the people. It's, a little bit, but it's the battles that you fight you can't see here. And we're not, asking you guys to see those. That's why we like this. We feel like this is our service to the community. We care about these people. And most times they come and then they get off the system. They just need a little help. And so we have asked before. So if you guys, maybe you will come from a greater place of power to say the commissioners need a different place. And maybe if you would go, because we even took it to Ministerial Alliance, and
It's not ours to say that.
Yeah, it's not our entity.
it's not ours either. So that's what we're saying. If you need the space, Zona and I will bow out and let someone else
We're
pick
not
it
looking
up.
for somebody else. We're not looking
Okay.
for new management. We're looking for a new location,
But
okay?
is all. We have no qualms with management or anything else. We
But
just
what I'm
need,
saying is, I'm just asking if you guys put it out there to say, look, as the commissioners, we are asking some entity, someone with a space
But
to
it's
That's-
Candy,
provide
it's
that.
not the commissioners.
It's not our responsibility.
It's not the commissioners' food bank.
it's not an entity of
It's
the
not the
Cheyenne County.
commissioners' food bank.
I know that, but it's also not ours. Like, that's what I'm frustrated with.
Whose is it?
Then who's does it belong to?
I don't know that it's ever belonged to anybody. The only entity that it was associated with was the Lutheran Church, and that's been in the 80s. And then when it moved here, it seemed like whoever is the coordinator seems to own it. You're responsible for all the things entailed. Like, I was handed the checkbook 18 years ago because no one else would take it over. And ever since then, I can't hand it off and say, I'm not associated with this anymore. And that's why I'm saying, if you need the space, I'm to a place, and we're like, we don't know what else to do with this, because you keep saying that it's yours, it's your responsibility to deal with it. And we're saying, we've asked, and that's why I'm saying, and put it in the paper, say, does anybody have a different idea? Because we've tried that the last time you asked us to move. And I'm tired of ferreting through and trying to say, hey, let's do all this research. Where do we put this thing? I would love a church to stand up and say, we can house it, but then all the other churches in our community impasse, and that's not current. That was 2 years ago, said, we won't, that'll be theirs. Like, we have this, that'll be their food bank, and it won't be a community one anymore. And I'm like, then we lose our volunteers, because every month we have a different group that helps support it. So I don't know what to do. That's what I'm saying. That's what Zona, if you have other things to say.
See, we don't know either. I mean,
I know.
the only thing we know is we got to have their room.
And 2 years ago, we discussed, is there another city place? Is there another open building? Really, the generators are great, but it's not a
Just so
necessity.
you know, that room isn't on the generator.
Yeah, it's not generated.
Oh, well, that's really nice to know.
You've never had a generator.
Okay,
The generator only applies to dispatch,
okay,
not the building.
yeah.
I think what you're asking us is to, along with you, ask for somebody else to take it over.
Not someone
Not,
over.
not
Not take it
necessarily
over
to take
too.
it over.
Find the
but
housing.
to help house us.
Yeah, to house it, excuse me.
And if the churches would come together and say, we won't back out, because we went to Ministerial Alliance 2 years ago, and we said, and then it becomes that tit for tat, like, that's not my church, so I'm not going to volunteer there, I'm not gonna give there, but, and I'm just like, this isn't about a church, this isn't
Yeah.
about us being we've worked our butts off to raise this money, to not ask for any funds. I write grants to keep the money in there, and I don't know where else
I guess
to
my
house it.
question at this point is, in the beginning, when the food pantry originally started, was it a county request, a city request?
It came-
Or was it just a community thing?
The Lutheran lady started it.
Okay.
So as far as I can understand, back in the history, when we did the historical kind of review.
Okay.
So it is always, I'm not saying it's the commissioners, I'm just saying I don't know where to go with it. And I'm to a point where I'm tired of fighting the same battle of, you guys need the space. And I don't have a good solution, so that's what I'm saying, fine, then we'll close it. This is a horrible time to close it. But I
But
don't.
we don't want to be made out as the bad guys here.
But I'm not
That's-
asking you to be the bad guy, but you need the space so I'm saying I don't know what a solution is for a space. And that's why I'm asking you guys to stand with us maybe in the paper and say, look, can someone come up with an idea? Or I don't know, because we ferreted this out 2 years ago and got nowhere, and hence why we're still here. So it's either we close or we find another location, and maybe we say it that way. Guys, we need the space. Like, nobody's closing it, but it can't be here anymore. That's fine. Do I want to keep fighting that? And I don't know.
And what about this Hanson Grant Fund distribution from the Cheyenne County Community Foundation?
What about it?
Just let her read it.
Right. What about it?
Anyway, you might be able to make application through them with this grant money from Hanson to get a facility.
No. There's a max of 2,500. We already got it.
Okay.
Yeah. We applied last week just because we spent $900 this past month at the grocery store alone, because the need is we went up, 60%. It was 18 extra families last month. So we already applied that. It's not a $25,000 grant. And the problem is we don't ever have the funds to pay the maintenance and a building rental space. Is that what you're saying? Buy a building?
Well, something, an option, just to pursue to see what would or would not be available.
And when the meat market was open, or prior to it having what it has now, we had looked at that. But because we probably could buy a building, but you have to have something to pay the bills. Like, we don't get that much in donations. I write most of the grants and run the budget for the last how many years, and we spend what? We had been spending about $600, and we had a CHS grant, so then with that and some other donations, we got about $8,000 a year. And so that's what we have to buy food every year. We don't have lights and utilities, then who takes care of the building? And that's where this is volunteer ran, and it takes enough to just deal with the food, let alone the everything else. So that's what I'm saying. I would love a great idea. I'd love it to not be here in your space, because it is such a point of contention, and I don't know where else to put it, but yeah.
Yeah, I think we're in this, like say all together, we realize that, you know, the food bank is very important, no doubt about that. But we have people that are 2 people in one office because, you know, we need the space too.
Elections are what's going to, we've got to set up special areas for people to vote. That is the best spot.
And that's fine. Then we-
Well, what if you were to write something for the paper and then asking, you know, someone to step up, and the commissioners would just say, and I can't speak for them, but like for myself, saying that we would support your letter saying we need someone to step up. We've, you know,
Where's it at in Bird City?
it's at the Methodist Church.
And our Methodist church offered. The problem is it's upstairs.
Yeah.
And
So they're
this-
talking about the education building.
excuse me, yeah.
Yeah, because I know at the Methodist Church in Bird City, they had it upstairs, and they had school kids and stuff that had to haul it all up there and haul it all back down. It was pretty tough. Now they're close to the door and they're on
Right.
one level.
Right. Because when you're transporting that much in
Yeah.
and out, it is.
And I know the other churches work real good with them, but I don't know how they do it.
And that was 2 years ago, I feel like, that we had this same discussion. And, I mean, we could ask again. We have totally different pastors, and many of our pastors are not even. And so maybe we can ask again and say, hey, if we, you know, our parents, like, nonprofit church is the First Christian, and so we could, you know, ask them, you know, they have space, but again, it's upstairs or downstairs, and it's only 2 stairs down, but it's not convenience by any, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I think if we throw it out to the community, if there's a building, you know, we even talked about when they did 202 on Washington, if they would allow us to have, you know, if that's a community building, could we house it within there? And we haven't talked about that again since they purchased it, but there's a lot of renovation to go on there, but just how could we make that a more utilized space, you know, community space?
User friendly kind of.
Yeah. So we can put it in the paper again. I'm just telling you, I'm getting to the point where I don't want to keep fighting. It's already hard enough to keep the money going, to deal with all the clients, and
Well, we're with you, because
Just-
we're in the same boat, but just on a bigger level.
yeah.
Because I personally hate to see the pantry go away. I mean, there is a big need in
Oh,
town.
yeah, I do not doubt it.
It is what it is. We don't screen our clients. We just take it for goodwill, you know, off of their needs and whatnot. But to shut it down, yes, there are a lot of families that would suffer
And
from
we
it.
need to clarify this again, we're not asking for a
No,
shutdown.
I realize that, but now we're getting into a pinch. You guys need that room, okay? And if we can't find something, then yes, we would have to shut it down.
Would that work? Could we have them write some type of a letter asking for someone to step up and take it, and
Well,
then
yeah,
we
you
just
could
support
say-
the letter?
The St. Francis Community Food Bank, is that your official title?
Cheyenne County Food Pantry.
Along with the Cheyenne County Commissioners are requesting some help from the residents of Cheyenne County. We're both in a bind.
Yeah, and we don't know what to do. And I mean, we could try it again, because I mean,
Let's
we
do.
really tried last time to figure it out and got nowhere, and it's just frustrating, because it's just a
Well-
lot of work on your part, our part, a lot of, you know,
If you could pen a letter or some information, have Leslie approve it, look at it,
okay.
I think we would be more than willing to support it. But we really do, we need somebody to step up and help us out here. on both sides. Because this,
I
this
think you need to go back to the ministerial alliance.
And part of me wants to put it back there a little bit, because when it's just on one person, which is what it's been chronically, like, we'll get someone that'll help for a little while, you know, like Zona, or, I mean, yeah, Carol's over. I mean, we've had this, but like, if I handed you the checkbook, you know, like, what would you know what I mean? Like, that's what happened to
what
me.
would you do?
And not that I'm not passionate, I love it, you know, I am
Yeah.
passionate about it, and I care about it, but on the other hand, it's like, you can't ever hand it off, because people are like, nope, stay away from me. And so I'm like, when you have a board or a broader support, then it's not just yours if you need to walk away and say, hey, I need a break. You know, I need to be appreciated. I need it to be valued. And sometimes it is a thankless job, and Zona puts a ton of hours in. And it's not for the accolades. It's because you see those people that need it. And so, fine. I think
Let's
that's a
try it.
solution. Let's try it.
See what happens.
You know, but sometimes, you know, maybe we need to close it for a little bit for the pinch to hurt, for someone to stand up and say, you know what, I have a great place, we can't see this closed, you know, because sometimes that helps people realize what is valuable to them, you know, if you don't have it. So,
Well, there's got to be a lot of privately owned buildings in this community that
Right.
are not being utilized for anything.
Yeah, like you're saying, you don't know what you have till you lose it, so.
right. So that sounds like a good plan, if that's agreeable
Well,
to you guys.
thank you ladies for coming in. And
Yeah. Okay.
I thought you had something for us too. That's the reason I stumbled there at the first. Sorry.
Oh, no? No, you invited us. Like, yeah. Can I ask on the mental health stuff? You guys had told me to look at the budgets to see where we could pool for High Plains mental health.
Not our budgets.
Okay, then tell me what were you talking about, because I was confused then.
That's within High Plains Mental Health themselves.
You asked them to change their budget? Or
No.
the request?
No, we're not going to be able to honor that request.
Right.
That's not going to happen.
But I thought you told me that I was supposed to look at the county budgets and see if there was a space to pool it.
I don't-
We know our,
Yeah, I know what our
what
budget
your
is.
budget is. I looked at it, but like, because that's a regional cost, like, nobody else pays $6,000. So everybody in the region, the 2019 counties pays $14,000 to $20,000. So that's why I thought I was supposed to look at that within our county budget and say, where could we pool funds for the next budget, so it could be allotted more.
That's not what we meant. I don't remember saying that, but
I don't know what you said either, but.
So for ongoing, then we're just gonna keep paying the $6,000, we're not gonna go up on that at all within the budget.
You know, what we're thinking too is, like now with all this COVID, we're gonna be losing a lot of money, the same as everybody else. So to gather up more money, we just don't see where we can come up, especially right now, we haven't even done the budget and we haven't looked at it, so.
I misunderstood them, because I thought you told me to look at other areas where the funds were being used in, you know.
I think that's what it was.
Finances.
They were wanting to know what other counties were paying, contributing to High Plains, so that they could do a comparison
Oh,
in regards to what Cheyenne County was paying. Because we weren't finding the numbers in regards to what these other counties had
Oh.
budgeted for the High Plains services.
yeah, and
And there had also
everybody's
been
paying
the-
10,000 more than us.
well, then we've heard stories. We have no substantiation, but some counties are being cut.
We haven't seen anything. Shows what the other counties are paying.
Oh, you want a list, or like a documentation?
Well, are they getting a grant? Part of their money coming from a grant, because part of our money come from a grant.
It did, yeah.
And we lost our grant. I don't know why.
I think it just ran its course, you know, I think that was.
Technically, no,
Okay.
but
Okay,
But we've been told that Ellis County dropped their budget a bunch.
for High Plains,
Yes,
okay.
I mean a bunch.
I just wanted to be clear on what I was trying to figure out. I thought, because what we had talked about was that we're if we're not paying for it at High Plains Mental Health, we're paying for it in law and in the hospital and all those things. So I thought you had told me to go and look at the budgets and say, where else is it going? Okay.
I don't think we're talking about our budget. I don't remember the conversation, but
I know. Yeah.
but anyway, we know where we're at, and it's.
Well, and I think a part of the conversation was, you know, the mental health that you do have established in the county, reaching out to like probation, court services, and community corrections, and letting them know that the service was available within the community already through another provider, so that they could take advantage of it. That was part of the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we're still going to be in a shortfall, and we're not anticipating to fix it. Okay. And the reason that I'm asking is because if we buy technology, basically a computer, we can have the services here in Cheyenne County as opposed to people driving to Colby or, you know, Goodland for services. So that's why I'm like, oh my gosh, but we still haven't paid this, and I haven't come up with a grant either to pay for it, you know, like that, because it's an ongoing need. Like every year it'll be $11,000 that we're short at this point. Okay, all right, thanks.
I wish the news could be better. I really do, but it's.
No, I mean, that helps because I don't want to be researching and doing all this work and not in the same track of what you had asked me to do, because that's what I thought I was supposed to do. And I thought it was due that next month, so it's okay, as long as we clarify.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Cody?
Well, originally I got on the agenda to talk about purchasing a new vehicle for the sheriff's office, which we do every year. As the meeting date came closer and stuff, and more information from the state is coming available, and we're understanding what situation we're in, with possible reductions in money coming in from sales tax and everything like that. I do not think it's a prudent decision right now to ask you guys to purchase a vehicle with so many unknowns coming up. I do have the money in equipment reserve, but that's a reserve that's, you know, there's a reason we have a reserve. What if we total a vehicle tomorrow and hit a deer? There's a reason we have the reserve. So I guess, unless you guys feel different, I don't like getting behind on vehicles because, you know, it doesn't take long to go from a vehicle with 60,000 miles to a vehicle with 130,000 miles that is unreliable. And we have to have reliable vehicles. But I think it'd be prudent right now with all the information that's coming in because of coronavirus, the shutdown, stay-at-home orders, to wait maybe until fall and look at this issue again, unless you gentlemen feel that any different than that.
I don't think we can be any other way, Cody.
I agree.
We've got to be prudent to the fact that we're not going to have monies.
Yes.
There's going to be a shortfall.
Yeah.
It's not maybe,
It's going to be.
there's going to be.
Yeah. So I guess I'm withdrawing my request to purchase a new pickup for this time. And I guess, I don't know, table it until fall and let's see.
Just call it a postponement.
Postpone it and let's wait and see what happens. I just think that's the best decision. The more I thought about it, the more information I've gotten in the last week during meetings and stuff, the more I think that would probably be the best decision.
And I appreciate
for all of us.
your line of thinking there. It's what we're going to have
Mm-hmm.
as county government. Every entity's going to have to face the fact that we're not going to be fully funded.
Yeah. And I think that's a good way, you know, the bids are coming in on that vehicle around $42,000. We know it's going to cost another $6,000 to $8,000 to put police equipment in there. So, you know, $50,000 is, in my world, you know, that's a substantial little bit of money that we could try to put back in our corner to see what else it can get us. That being said, I would like to go into executive session and talk about non-elected personnel.
Okay, how much time do you need, Cody?
10 minutes.
Okay.
I move we go into executive session for 10 minutes, non-elected personnel.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed, same sign.
if you wanna buy a vehicle and donate it to us, we can.
Yeah, we can auction it off in front. Fund something else.
You can get Roger some.